Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 match against the machine. We are going to be having a replay cast of me playing MICROMACHINE, the terrifying, probably the most known Starcraft 2 bot. Not that Starcraft 2 bots are the most known to Starcraft fans, but we're trying to get that out there. And so, I'm taking on one of the older best bots, I'll say, as far as my knowledge goes. Not that my knowledge is perfect, and so I'm playing Protoss against the Terran MicroMachine under the name Foo 5680 for some reason today. But we'll just watch. The last game I played against it, it kind of kicked my butt. I tried to get at bases. It just attacked me in multiple places, had lots of tanks, good in macro. I did not stand a chance in that game. And so I thought, alright, I'm going to try something similar and then see if I can make my execution better. Because I felt that, maybe I could have taken down the AI. And so I have got a gateway on the way following a nexus. I know that MicroMachine's not too likely to punish me. I am a little bit worried about the Reaper that could come my way with MicroMachine's control. But more on that in a second. As that bad boy's on the way out, MicroMachine goes for a double gassed play. So as far as the way that this build works out, if you look at the build, it's like, wow, the Protoss is going greedy, the Terran's going for high tech, so that means the Terran probably needs to get some damage done against the Protoss player. However, the way MicroMachine plays, it's more of a generalized safe way, it seems. And so, yeah, we have that Reaper out on the way. Fortunately for me, the Reaper does not head right across the map. If it went right across the map and started killing probes, my life may be a little bit difficult. But I actually realized that this is what MicroMachine did in the previous game, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably safe to go for this Nexus first then. And, yeah, so we're on the map Berlingrad, and before we get too much further into this game, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and slap that like button. You guys destroy it as always, but it's good to remind ya. And if you can leave a comment down in the description if you want to see more of these matches, comment more bots. And so, we see this Reaper of MicroMachine just sort of run right across the front of my Nexus. I'm like, oh, how about that? Jumps into my main base, goes for a scout, but it doesn't actually go for any probes, even though my Stalker is still not even out. So I'm sweating a little bit there, but the Reaper does not go for any probes. And then just a siege tank on the way for MicroMachine, one base in it with Marines. And we saw in the previous game that MicroMachine went for a move out against me. I'm expecting the same sort of thing. No, actually, I honestly wasn't expecting the same sort of thing, but I'm thinking, alright, I'll just go for a sort of blink opening here. 2-gate fast third base, which is quite a popular build, or quite a good build in the StarCraft 2 meta at a time. And now we see the Stalker moving out across the map. Twilight Council's on the way. I just decided to poke with the Stalker. I'm like, there shouldn't be a Cyclone out or anything like that. And then we see a command center on the way for MicroMachine in the main base, but economically, I'm quite a ways ahead of MicroMachine, getting my third base on the way. And I know this, but then bot macro is no joke once it does start to take off. And we see this Stalker crossing the map and blink on the way for me. I'm trying to chrono boost this out as much as I can. I hit a little supply block here, which is unfortunate. So I make a point to try and spend my money on other things. That's the best thing you can do in StarCraft when you hit a supply block. So I get my gases up. I thought I got an extra gateway up, but I guess I don't actually do that this time around. There we go, chrono boosting on the Twilight Council once more. A robo on the way, an extra gateway on the way. There we go, it's this supply block that I throw up some tech. But, yeah. I move out with my Stalkers to put the pressure on MicroMachine a little bit. There's 3 tanks that have now built up in the main base of this Terran AI, which is a little bit terrifying. The tanks destroyed me in the previous game, but it wasn't 3. It was more like 30. So we have MicroMachine just pumping out units still. No concussive shell or anything on this tech lab. The bot is now going to be moving out. My stalkers are in position to intercept this a little bit. I have to start pulling away as there is these units. I wasn't sure if there was going to be concussive shell or not, so I just pulled away. That is on the way for Micro Machine, but not just yet. And the AI is electing now to move out. I warp in 4 more stalkers. My blink is about done. I've got a robo on the way, an extra gateway finishing up. I do lose one of the stalkers there to poor control. I start microing against these marines, however. The rest of Micro Machine's army, the tanks are now coming across the map. I've got 6 stalkers though, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can get on top of this. And I do elect to blink on top of this marauder. I'm able to go ahead and pick that off, and then the marines are easy pickings. There's the tanks from Micro Machine. Jumping forward is what I do. I avoid all but one of the tank shots there, and I actually get the 2 siege tanks. There's another tank on the high ground there for Micro Machine. A 3rd base is on the way up. I've got another warp and a stalkers coming forward though, and I think, you know what? Maybe I can kill this AI here. As I was thinking about it, I'm like, should I just try and play more macro here? No. What a pro player in Starcraft 2 would do would be push as much as possible with these stalkers, even though it's a macro build. But I do have 6 gateways on the way behind this up, just poking with these stalkers for now. So I move forward, I kill that marauder, and then I blink back. The siege tank is zoning me out, but this command center of Micro Machine is vulnerable for the pickings for me. It starts to float it away. It's repairing it with an SCV. It wants to keep this alive, so that's good behavior from Micro Machine. But the base actually stops flying there, and then it continues on a second later, which is interesting. My stalkers are still out on the map, and I see that command center is real low. I blink forward for it. I do indeed get it. The Micro Machine, its quick 3rd base in comparison to its natural base, is now finished. I've got a warp prism on the way behind this. There's this tank on the high ground that's been zoning me away. I'm not sure what else is there, so I don't commit on in. I should have moved my observer, in hindsight, to that high ground to see the tank and whatnot. I'm a little cautious with my observers, which is something that I'm worried about players. Micro Machine saying what air unit? It's just one warp prism Micro Machine. It's all good. I elect to charge on in though. I've got charge now. Lots of zealots warped in, and then I'm able to warp in more. A 3rd base attempt from Micro Machine. I still don't go for the kill just yet. I warp in lots of stalkers and zealots, so I realize that I've got the Terran player kind of down on the rope. Then it's just a question of whether I can break this natural. And with it basically just being siege tanks here for Micro Machine, I blink on in, and luckily I was able to counter against that attack Micro Machine went for me. I get on top of the siege tank, I pick that off. The zealots are just doing their work, and at this point it's pretty much chaos in Micro Machine space. The units that the Terran AI has is 2 Vikings and a siege tank. That siege tank just popping out. Staying alive for now. SCVs don't repair it, but even, do they actually repair it? Okay, 1 or 2 actually does repair it there. Zealot gets on top of it, however, the tank staying alive. Stalkers say that is finished. And so, yeah, I was actually able to take down Micro Machine in this game. If you guys haven't figured this out, I do not manage to throw it from this point on. It was a good rematch. I was more aggressive than in the previous match against the timings of Micro Machine. That's the main thing it seems that human players can do, whereas bots cannot. It's have that more killer instinct, because bots have to be fairly generalized for the most part. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a shorter video, but that's StarCraft 2. If you see an opening to win a game, you gotta go for it, because who knows, maybe I would have lost to Micro Machine in the macro game again. It wasn't really a cheese, it was just more of a counterattack that I went for. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, hit that bell icon. Let's get that subscriber number going up. And if you guys want to join the Discord, you're more than welcome to do that. Talk about AI, look for partners for team games, that sort of thing. And if you do want to support this more niche content, the best way to do that is to go ahead and become a YouTube subscriber. And yeah, I'll see you, or a YouTube member, pardon me. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. This has been LaughNgamez.